This is a game between a grandmaster and an A player. The grandmaster is black, and it is white to move here. Let's take a moment and evaluate the board and see where the main action is, see what weaknesses there might be in the black camp. So the most important thing to notice here is that the knight is being attacked twice, once by the rook, once by the queen, and it's only defended once by this rook. So white has to figure out how to deal with this, has to decide what he's going to do, either run, move the knight, launch a Chicago way. Also notice that the king is there's a back rank weakness here. The king has moved to the corner, and when it does, typically without pawns being moved, there's a back rank weakness. If one of these rooks moves, it could be mate or a threat of mate. And also the bishop is X-raying the king, X-raying this pawn. And then also notice that the queen is not involved in the main action of the game. When a piece is not involved where the main scuffle or the main battle is taking place, it's as if that piece is off the board. It's critical to get all of your pieces working together, forming batteries, defending each other. So white must decide what to do with this knight, and he chooses to simultaneously run and launch his own attack, Chicago way. So he moves the knight, attacking the queen, and now the rook is revealed, and our rook is undefended. So our queen and rook are simultaneously attacked. Black has to decide what to do. Let's play black here for a moment and evaluate the board and decide how you're going to handle this attack. So pause the video. Okay, before you immediately react to an attack, especially on the queen, spend a moment and see if you can launch a Chicago way. See if you can find a superior counterattack, which is really what the Chicago way is. And it's another way of allowing your opponent to make a mistake. So you want to create a situation, an if this, then that scenario. Because of white's back rank weakness, we don't have to move the queen. We can simply capture this rook, which now attacks the other rook. So if the knight captures the queen out of greed, the black rook can simply capture this rook, and it would be checkmate, since the king has no escape squares. So for a moment our queen is safe, and white must recapture the rook. It's difficult to be courageous when the queen is under attack, but you should always look for a superior counterattack. So pause the video and see, do we need to move the queen, or can we come up with a Chicago way move? So pause the video. Okay, because the back rank weakness is still there, black can simply slide the rook here and create a scenario, allow white to make a mistake. Again, if he captures the queen, the rook can simply slide down here, and it would be checkmate, or if the rook interposes, the rook could capture the rook, and then it would be checkmate. So our queen, again, is safe for a moment. White sees this threat and finally creates a little air, or Luft in German, which means air, an escape square for the king. And now our queen clearly is in danger, because the king could run if the rook checks him. And now I'm going to pose a little problem for you. I want you to see if you can launch a power move in 2 moves. The first move being a preparation for the second move, which will be a power move. It's a little tricky, but spend a little time considering all of your options. Look at what is already being attacked. So pause the video. This is an advanced combination, but did you find rook captures knight? And then pawn takes. And now we have little guy harassing big guy. Pawn attacking the rook. Of course, a great deal of calculation was needed here to determine if this was a reasonable move, but this is what the grandmaster did. He recognized that the queen was still out of play and that the rook's mobility was restricted. Always consider where your opponent's pieces can move And then you can come up with a plan to take advantage of restricted mobility. If you notice, the rook can't move back because the queen is guarding that square, and she can't move here, or he, or it. And if the rook moves here, the queen checks. The rook is undefended here, you see. And because of that, the queen can check. And when the king moves, the queen can capture the rook. Simple 1-2 combination. So the rook moves here, attacking the pawn. Now I would like you to evaluate what move you would make as black. So look for Chicago way moves. Chicago way and other power moves. So pause the video. By using gang attacks, X-rays, and power moves, and the Chicago way, you can play really good chess. Okay, did you notice the rook is undefended? Once again. And this pawn is attacked once, so you're always looking for double attacks. And they'll work especially in the presence of power move weaknesses. So the black queen simply attacks the rook and threatens mate here, because queen takes pawn as mate, backed up by the bishop. Classic queen-bishop checkmate. So the rook slides over to stop the mate, and the rook, you see, is still undefended, and we have a check. So black proceeds by checking the king. The king slides up to protect the rook, and now the pawn is free to advance and create the threat of becoming a queen, which is literally unstoppable. I mean, the rook could slide over, but white will lose the rook. This was largely possible because the white queen was out of play. So when you see your opponent's pieces not involved in the main action, try to take advantage of that, because it's as if they aren't playing with that piece.